Hey, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm working on a layout, but this is a 6x12 layout. Matter of fact, I got two going for you. So I found these pictures, which I forgot to put in my album, and instead of doing a full 12x12 layout, I decided to use the inserts, which are 6x12. I love adding additional inserts or the pocket pages because it really does add a different element into your scrapbooking album, and it makes it a lot more fun. So because this is kind of like a companion page, the page on the left had this Franken page stuff, and I'll try to have a link below on the original layout because it was a really fun technique. But this paper that I'm using, I did not like that front side. I'm probably not going to use it, so I decided to use the white side just to map my photos. Now this is a great tip because I know we all have the ugly papers or the papers we don't think we're ever going to use that came in a pad, something like that. You know, instead of using white cardstock, again, for something like this, it works out perfectly. Now, if you need something heavier, because this is definitely not a heavyweight cardstock, then I wouldn't advise that. But for photo mats that are going on top of cardstock, a heavyweight cardstock, this is perfect. So I'm just cutting it down to something manageable for my my paper cutter, and again, you know, putting the borders a lot around the photos. So this 12x12 or 6x12, I usually try to keep them pretty simple because, you know, basically you're just adding photos, maybe a little bit of pretties, but and maybe some journaling, things like that. But for the most part, to me anyways, they're more like companion pages to like your big 12x12 paper, which is exactly what this is. So this Franken page, like you can tell, I just use scraps from the same papers that I used for my adventure or my hiking, and this is part of a road trip album, and I'm almost done with it. And if you are interested in looking at it, I might do a flip through because these pictures are awesome. I did a lot of videos probably on every single layout, but you know, because they're kind of scattered all over my scrapbooking playlist, you won't be able to see them all. So more than likely I will do a playlist because I do really like this this album. It's full of adventure. So anyhow, I put that on there and I realized, oh, it needs a little bit of toning down. So I use that brown ink and a little paddle brush, and I'm just putting ink around it just to kind of tone down those bright colors. And it worked out fine. Like I said, just a little bit, no big deal. So I put those photos down where I want them. I cut a little journaling box because I am going to add a little bit of journaling. But then I'm not really sure what I'm doing with the embellishments. Again, I mentioned I usually keep them pretty simple, but with all things, you do want to embellish, right? So once I decide what I want to do or where the placement is, I do grab some of that yellow, which is also on that Franken page, so it matches perfectly. I just cut out a piece that is kind of convenient for what's already there. And again, this is just scrap papers. I did create a kit for this album, and it just had a lot of like greens, nature kind of colors, yellows, even some like oranges, and you can see a lot of it on the Franken page. But again, using scraps and kind of making things fit where I can without pulling out full sheets of something. And that, what I just pointed out, is a textured white paper. Now, I didn't want the textured side for the journaling, so if I flipped it over, it was a smooth side. Again, another tip. But anyhow, so I hope you like this video, and if you do, give me a thumbs up. I do 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking, and the other is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center, and the command center is the name of my craft room and also my blog. I'll have the link below to my blog, a direct post to this one, and also just my home page and any other information that I feel like I can remember or know how to put on here. But definitely all the information will be on my blog post. So I'm not sure the placement of the what am I trying to say? Oh, the journaling spot. So for now, I don't put any adhesive on, but I'm really trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that bottom left side. So I had those stickers that I showed you, and I decided to use these ones right here. And these are crosses that, I'm going to be honest with you, I was gifted a whole bunch of stuff, and this was part of it. In my mind, I didn't have any reason to use these natural colored and gold colored crosses, so I was going to put them in my kind of trash to trash to treasure bag that I take to crops and things that you share with other croppers. Well, it just dawned on me they would be perfect for this layout because it was an old church that we went to, or a mission that we went to. And I just like loaded up that left side. I absolutely love the way it looks. Again, it totally follows the theme, and the color scheme is perfect, and I just love it. I was going to build another kind of cluster of crosses over there on that upper right by the journaling spot, but the more I was kind of playing, it was too much. I didn't like the idea, and not only that, but what was left on the sheet were also very large crosses, and I just felt like if I was going to, I'd want it to be smaller and less, intense. So I did decide to use one of the smaller ones out of those 4 and just put it over there to the left of the journaling spot. I'm not going to put a lot of journaling here because, like I said, this is a companion page to a 12 by 12 layout that's over on that left side. So I did draw in my journaling lines, which I do all the time. I have not journaled in there yet, or at least not on this video. But here you go. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? So now there's going to be the back side, or the second side of this 6 by 12 insert. And on that right side of my album is a layout that I did, and I'm going to show it in a minute, which had a lot of mixed media, and it was part of a hop that I did. So I wanted to, again, kind of emulate what I did there. And so I used that same yellow paper. I used a white inside it, so it was matted. The white was matted with that yellow. And then that little stamped pottery was part of that 12 by 12 layout. So I wanted to kind of keep that as the embellishment. I just have these last 2 photos. I did trim this one down a little bit just because I just wanted a little bit more wiggle room. And that photo on the top, I wanted to include the clouds because you know how you get those days where the cloud opens in one spot and the sun rays just shine through? That's what was going on there, and it just looks so beautiful. So here's that companion page. I hope you got a chance to look at that. If not, you can go back and then put it on pause. But again, I will have a link to my blog, which will also show more pictures of that. So on that companion page, there was a lot of mixed media, and so I tried, like I said, I emulated that a little bit. I didn't go full force, but I did keep the same stenciling and the same stamping. Again, not full force, but just enough to where it coordinates with that page over there on the right. So when I tuck in this 6 by 12 layout or layouts, it will all coordinate. And I did pull out the same papers that I used. Now there is a striped paper that I used, and on the 6 by 12, no, 12 by 12 sheet, the original, I had them, instead of it going straight across or straight up and down, I cut it in a way where it was diagonal. So I wanted to do the same thing. And basically I just used my scissors, cut it down. And the funny thing is when I put it in this paper cutter, of course I wanted to put it down where the stripes were going horizontal. But then I realized, oh wait, I didn't want to do that. So there they are. Now they're diagonal. And I wasn't too worried about the paper. I've had this paper pad forever. And actually the page that I showed earlier that I used the flip side, the white, was part of that same pad. And I'm just trying to use my paper, folks. So if I had to cut some down and end up throwing away some, I was okay with that. This is very simple. I just threw that pottery right there. And again, it's going to coordinate. And you're going to see some pictures of what it looks like in the album. Not the greatest pictures. It was really hard to photograph, to be honest with you. But again, there's the pictures or showing you the 2 different layouts. Make sure you hit subscribe, folks, because like I said, I do post 2 videos a week. So here's what I'm talking about. You see how it just totally coordinates and everything looks so good. I'm just so happy with this little 6 by 12 insert. But thank you so much for watching. Bye.